I think we all have like kind of dreams and aspirations of what our life would be like. We have these ideas to start a business or to get in shape or to kind of have this lifestyle, but most people never really give themselves a chance to do that. We're afraid that people will judge us, that we're gonna fail, that we'll embarrass ourselves, that we'll make the wrong decision, that we won't be able to go back. So instead of taking action or following through, we don't do anything. We don't start a business on that idea. We don't quit our jobs. We don't move. We don't take that risk. Instead of taking a chance and trying something new, we stick with what's familiar and what's easy. At least I do. These days, we kind of expect things to happen instantly. You have instant messenger, instant cart, like you order something on Amazon and it just like shows up the next day, which like really still amazes me. You see people who create some app or start a business and they're millionaires the next year. This has kind of changed our idea of success into making us kind of think that it's like a short-term thing that kind of just happens overnight. People get lucky, or you get discouraged when you put in a lot of time and effort into starting a business or whatever you're trying to do and you don't see results right away. I know for me, over the past couple of years, I've tried a bunch of different things, and when I didn't see results right away, I got discouraged, and most of them I just ended up quitting. I think everything just takes a lot longer. Like, it's not a bunch of glitz and, you know, glam. I don't even know what glitz and glam is, but like it's like just a lot of work behind the scenes that we don't really see. We just see the end result. So I think before you can have that kind of success that you want to have, you have to realize a couple things, and one of them is that you have to put yourself in a position to get lucky. You have to put in all the groundwork. You have to take a lot of shots. You have to really stick with something for a long time in order to see if that's ever gonna be, you know, that thing that takes off. You have to at least like try for it. Like, a lot of times we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that it can't happen for us, that it's just, you know, not gonna work out, and we never take that first step. I know when I started a lot of things that I've started, I just never thought that I would be able to do it, and therefore when I got into it a little bit, I would just quit right away because I'm like, hey, look, it's not actually working, just like I thought it wasn't actually gonna work. Or I'll never try it to start with because I looked at in the past, I've failed at a bunch of things, so obviously that's not gonna work out because I'm not really good enough, so I'll just stick with what I know. But when you realize that things are just gonna take a lot longer than you think they are, and if you don't give up, most likely you will succeed at whatever you're trying. So I think I first heard of the 3-year rule, of course, from Matt D'Avella. Who else, you know? Like a year or so ago on his podcast. And the whole idea of the 3-year rule is pretty simple. It's just committing to something for 3 years, and no matter what happens, you're gonna do it for the next 3 years. Now, it seems pretty simple, and you know, kind of it is, but like, why does it actually work? Well, for me, taking a step back and looking at life kind of from a longer term point of view actually helps failures seem smaller. Where I think it's good to have short-term goals kind of along the way, where you have your 30-day goal and your 90-day goal throughout those 3 years. It's also good to look at if you fail 1 week and the next week and the next week and the next week, well, that's hardly even like a percentage of that 3 years, so who really cares? What you're really committing to is sticking with it, and no matter what happens, whether you are successful at it, whether you're failing at it, whether nobody's watching, whether you're making any money or not, it doesn't really matter. You're committing to keep putting in that effort, keep working, keep getting better. This is the point where I stop and let you know that I have a lot of cool videos coming up in 2021. And if you guys want to be a part of that, then feel free to subscribe. It is completely free. And if you already are subscribed, there's a donut on your counter, compliments of me. Thank you. I kind of like to look at it as the domino effect, but a little bit differently. If you start stacking dominoes and each domino is 50% bigger than the one before, then some like amazing things start to happen. Well, the first domino is just 2 inches tall. By the 31st, you're 3,000 feet above Mount Everest. By the 57th, you're almost at the moon. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world, and that's really just what we're doing. We're taking compound interest and applying it to our lives instead of to money or dominoes. And I've seen this graph before where things start getting higher and higher, and then it just stinking skyrockets. It spikes up. And that's true with a lot of things. When you're starting to grow a business, you know, make that first sale, which might help you get your second sale, and those 2 help you get 4 sales, and those 4 help you get 10 sales, and it just keeps growing faster and faster, but it never works unless you put in all that time to get that first couple sales. For me, it took months to get the first 1,000 subscribers. It took really long to get the next 10,000, but now things are a lot better. What took me months to get that first 1,000 subscribers, it was really cool. I got them in just a couple days last week. I got like 400 one day, 400 the next day, and a couple hundred the day after that. So what took me months to do at the beginning is now happening in a couple days. But if I didn't take all that time to set it up, months and years of my life, hours and hours and hours of working, then I never would have gotten to this point. So it might seem like you're getting lucky, but you're not, because you put in all that effort before. The most important step of the 3-year rule is finding your one thing, finding that thing that you feel so strongly about that you can commit to it, and then laying out a specific plan of what that's gonna look like. Is it once a week? Is it 3 times a week? Is it 10 hours a week? What exactly are you committing to? You can't commit to getting in shape over the next 3 years because that's not very specific. How will you know when you're in shape? But if you commit to going to the gym 3 times a week for the next 3 years, you are pretty much guaranteed to be in good shape at the end of that. Well, all you're committing to is a schedule. For me, that was committing to 1 video a week, no matter what happens for the next 3 years until the end of 2021. Whether I see any results, whether people watch it, doesn't really matter. All I'm committing to is making a video and putting it out there. It can also kind of eliminate risk, where 3 years might seem like a long time when you're just looking at like, what if I waste the next couple years working on starting this business or trying to get in shape or, you know, whatever it is, and it just like, it fails, like it's horrible. Well, hang on. Each line here is 1 year, so there's 52 weeks. So I'm 25, I just turned 25 in November. Happy birthday to me. I don't think I mentioned it on here. So what seems like a big commitment in your overall life if you live to be, you know, 88 is actually just 3 lines. Like it's almost nothing. And let's say you fail, you know, this day and this day and this day. And maybe this whole block, this whole month, you just fail, it doesn't work out, you're trying, but it's not happening. It doesn't even matter when you fail 4 out of, you know, whatever it is, 156. It doesn't even matter, it doesn't make a real difference. But what makes a big difference is when you keep putting in effort, you keep working. So this is just something that I've kind of picked up. I like it, I hang it on my wall now. It just kind of helps me take a step back and look at my life from that direction. And if I keep putting in effort every single week, you know, things are just gonna get really cool, but I also, you know, wanna also enjoy my life. So anyways. I've found that rules have been really helpful for me, like self-imposed rules. I've used things like the 2-minute rule just helps me a lot get habits started, just committing to doing 2 minutes of something, or like the 2-day rule where you're not gonna miss a habit twice in a row. And then the 3-year rule has been really like, those rules have really changed my life quite a lot, and I've been using them for over a year. And like specifically how it helps me is at a point here, I was not gaining any subscribers, not growing at all for months on end. And every time I posted a video, I lost subscribers that day. It was terrible. I was gaining like 3 or 4 a day, and then I would post it and I would lose 15. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so bad. I should just quit, because obviously this is not gonna work out. Nobody cares about my stuff. When people were reminded that I exist, they unsubscribed from me. Like, it was not a great feeling, and I wasn't seeing any progress, and I was putting in the exact same amount of work that I was before, but like the results went way down. And if I hadn't had that 3-year commitment, those would have seemed a lot worse, and I'm pretty sure I would have quit. I almost quit a couple times in the past couple of years. This is really just a form of sticking with a habit that I know will change my life, that even if, you know, the business doesn't succeed or the channel doesn't succeed or whatever, I'm still gonna have grown and learned a lot of things over those years. So that really helps me when those times are tough. I'm like, well, maybe I'll use this skill somewhere else and it'll help me, you know, some other way. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you guys want to pick one of these up, there is a link down in the description. Let me know what you guys are thinking about using the 3-year rule on down in the comment section below. And also, comment where you're from. If you want to be on the globe, don't forget. I'll catch up to you eventually. I've got 400 pins left. Maybe 300. Takes forever. And if you are subscribed, your puppy is in the mail. It should be there within 3 to 7 weeks. And if you already are subscribed, I'm standing right behind you. And if you already are subscribed, then you already know what a Chemex is, so thank you. And if you already are subscribed, thank you.